Students, today we are going to revise the poem very quickly. Now, this poem, My Mother at 66, is written by Kamala Das. She was born in Malabar, Kerala, and she is recognized as one of the India's foremost poets. Actually, Kamala Das is a sensitive writer. She writes about the complexities of human relationship. The relations are so complicated or intertwined that we find difficult to understand. So the poem depicts mother-daughter relationship and the fear factor that one day she is going to be separated from her mother. So as we all know that aging is a natural process, whosoever takes birth will grow old one day. So old age cannot be avoided. It is inevitable. So let's begin with the explanation of the poem. It was Friday morning. Poetess Kamala Das and her mom both were driving to Cochin airport. So on their way to the airport, the poet saw her 66 years old mother's face so closely. Her mother was sitting beside her in the car. She observes that her mother was dozing. She was taking short naps. Her mouth was open. Her face was pale and lifeless as a dead body. So here, when she looked at her mother, she compared her mother's face to a dead body. Right? So this lifeless and faded face of her mother pained her heart, and she realized that her mother was actually grown very old and she might pass away soon. And this realization of separation from her mother was quite painful. Put that thought away and looked out. Then the poet soon tried to drive away those painful thoughts which she experienced on seeing her aged mother. To divert her mind from those negative thoughts, she started looking out of the window. She saw young trees sprinting. As the car was moving very fast, so the trees outside seemed to be running fast at the backside, and the children were coming out of their homes happily. So here, young trees and children suggest that young age of life passes away happily but quickly. This also reminds us that time flies. There was a time when mother was young, but now she has grown old. So here the poet has tried to create a contrast between the mood inside the car and the mood outside the car. Inside the car, it was quite inactive and passive because of Kamala Das' mother condition. And outside the car, the mood was overflowing with energy, freshness. After reaching Cochin airport, the poet has gone through security check at airport. She looked back at her mother who was standing some distance away. She looked back just to bid her mother farewell. She also wanted to reassure herself about her mother's well-being. She wanted to reassure about her mother's health because she was doubtful about seeing her mother alive next time. So, as she looked at her at that time, she felt deeply sad to look at the colorless, lifeless, and pale face of her mom. Her face looked faded like a late winter's moon. Here, the poet has compared mother's face with late winter's moon. Now, just as in winter season, the moon loses its shine, brightness, because it is hidden behind fog. Likewise, the face of poet's mother has lost its shine. It has lost its vitality, energy because of old age. So as she looked at her mother's wan and pale face, she felt that old familiar ache, that old familiar ache, my childhood fear. Now, she had experienced in her childhood the fear which she has experienced in childhood. During her childhood, she sensed a guilt of not taking good care of her mother. She feared of losing her mother. Now, because her mother is 66 years old now, the fear of permanent separation from her mother gripped her. So the childhood fear overpowered her again and she controlled herself. She appeared to be normal. She did not share her thoughts of fear and pain with her mother. She hides her true feelings from her mom, and with a hollow smile on her face, she says, "See you soon, Amma." Now, the repetition of the word, this repetition, smile and smile and smile, it indicates the artificial smile of the poet with a positive note that she is hopeful that they will soon meet again. Though in the heart of hearts she knew that she won't meet her. So, this is all about the poem, which is written in free verse and it has no rhyme scheme. The poetic devices used in the poem are: first one, the poet has used the poetic device that is here when he compares mother's face with a dead body. So, simile, he has used simile. Then, merry children spilling and trees printing, here the poet has used personification. Then again, when the poetess looked at her mother at the airport, she has used the poetic device simile. She compared her mother's face with late winter's moon. Then here the poet has used repetition, smile and smile and smile. 3 times the word smile is repeated, so repetition poetic device is used. That's all. Thank you.